The moment you explain too much, you may think you are defending yourself. But under pressure, every extra word can reveal more than you intended. Your fear, your urgency, your need to be understood. And sometimes, the person listening is not looking for truth. They are watching what pressure makes you expose. Most people do not lose control by shouting. They lose control by explaining. They think silence makes them look guilty, so they rush. They clarify. They justify. They add details nobody asked for. And in that moment, they stop controlling the conversation. They start feeding it. This is the hidden pattern. A simple question lands. Or, that seems suspicious. Or, I thought you were better than that. And suddenly, your mind enters defense mode. You are no longer choosing your words. You are trying to escape discomfort. That is where the leak begins. Most people think the danger is being misunderstood. But the deeper danger is revealing too much while trying to be understood. Because when you explain under emotional pressure, you may reveal what matters to you. You reveal what accusation scares you. You reveal which image you are desperate to protect. You reveal which person has power over your nervous system. That information may not be used against you every time, but it can shape how people treat you. Someone casually says, "You seemed nervous during that client call." A calm person might say, "I noticed that too. I'll improve the delivery." But a reactive person says, "No, I wasn't nervous. I prepared all night. I only paused because the client confused me. I was also dealing with messages before the call." Now the room knows more. They know the comment affected you. They know you over. Most people explain. You observe pause. And once you see the pattern, you stop treating every question like a courtroom. Most people fail because they confuse response with survival. The moment they feel challenged, they believe they must answer immediately. They think a fast explanation protects their reputation. But speed is not control. Sometimes speed is panic with better vocabulary. When you answer too quickly, you often answer the emotion. You are responding to what you fear it means. That is why one small comment can pull a long confession out of you. Someone says, "You have been quiet lately." Instead of saying, "I've been focused," you begin explaining your mood, your schedule, your stress, your family issues, your plans, your insecurities, and your private reasons. The answer became a window. This is why emotional pressure matters. Research on privacy management and self-disclosure suggests that stress can influence how people manage what they reveal. Under stress, people may become less careful with disclosure. Not because they are weak, because pressure changes attention. It narrows your focus. You stop asking, "Should I reveal this?" You start asking, "How do I make this feeling stop?" That is the trap. You are not trying to share. You are trying to relieve pressure. And some people can sense that. They push slightly. They pause longer. They question your tone. They act unconvinced. Then you add more. The more you add, the more they learn. Not only from your words, from your timing. From your urgency. From what you defend before anyone even attacks it. A controlled person does not answer every implication. A controlled person answers only what needs an answer. That is the difference. Most people explain to feel safe. Strategic people pause to stay safe. The wrong reaction is not honesty. Honesty is clean. There is a difference between telling the truth and bleeding information. One is chosen. The other is pulled out of you. This is where the Machiavellian lesson becomes useful. Not as manipulation, not as cruelty, as discipline. In The Prince, Chapter 18, Machiavelli focuses heavily on appearances, speech, and what a ruler allows others to see. The deeper principle is, what slips from your mouth shapes how others judge your strength. Not because people know your full reality, but because people often judge from what they can observe. Your face, your timing, your emotional reaction. Your need to explain. This reflects a Machiavellian idea. Control begins before action. Before you speak, you are still holding your position. After you speak too much, you may be negotiating from a weaker place. Because now the other person has more material, they know what bothers you. They know what you rush to defend. They know which silence you could not tolerate. This does not mean you become fake. It means you stop being careless. A strategist does not reveal every thought because someone applies pressure. A strategist does not open private rooms inside his mind for every passerby. A strategist understands that words create impressions. And impressions create leverage. This is why over-explaining is dangerous. It does not only give information, it gives rhythm. It shows that if someone questions you long enough, you will start handing over context. You will start proving yourself. You will start making their doubt the center of your behavior. That is not strength. That is surrender in slow motion. The Machiavellian reframe is not, how do I control them? The correct frame is, how do I control what leaves me? Your mouth is a gate. Some questions deserve a clear answer. Some deserve a boundary. Some deserve silence. And some deserve time. The uncontrolled person speaks to remove tension. The strategic person lets tension exist without obeying it. That is where power shifts. The power shift begins with one rule. Do not answer while your body is trying to escape discomfort. When you feel the urge to over-explain, slow down. Not forever. Only long enough to return to choice. A pause can protect what panic would expose. Here is the first step. Separate the question from the pressure. Do not answer the tone. Answer the question. If the question is fair, respond cleanly. If the question is vague, ask for precision. If the question is personal, decide what level of access is appropriate. This is not coldness. This is self-respect. The second step is to use short boundary language. Say, I'm not going into that. That's private. Say, no anger. No insult. No performance. A boundary spoken calmly is stronger than a speech spoken desperately. The third step is to stop proving your innocence to people who are not judging fairly. Some people ask to understand. Some ask to corner. If someone is testing your insecurity, excess clarity may become fuel. The fourth step is timing. You can say, I'll think about that and answer later. You can say, this is not the right moment. You can say, I'm not responding while this is heated. This protects you from emotional speed. Most people react. You choose timing. The fifth step is internal. Before you explain, ask yourself one question. What am I trying to protect right now? If the answer is your ego, pause. If the answer is your image, pause. If the answer is your fear of being disliked, pause. Then answer only what is necessary, and not every silence needs to be filled. Now apply this in real situations. First, workplace or social group. Someone says, "You seem defensive every time feedback comes up." A reactive answer sounds like this: "I'm not defensive. I had a long week." That answer gives away emotional pressure. A controlled answer sounds like this: "I hear the feedback. Which specific moment are you referring to?" Now you have moved the conversation from accusation to evidence. You did not deny everything. You did not confess everything. You asked for precision. This sentence can pull a full emotional confession out of people. They begin listing reasons. They apologize for boundaries. They explain their stress. They prove they still care. But a calmer answer sounds like this: "I have been more selective with my time. Nothing against you." If they ask sincerely, you can explain more. If they pressure you, you can hold the boundary. "I'm not available for constant access like before." That is not punishment. That is clarity. Third, online or message conversation. Someone sends, "Interesting how you ignored my last message." A reactive person writes a paragraph. They explain where they were. They explain their battery. They explain their battery. They explain their mood. They explain why they are not a bad person. Or, "I'm not always able to reply immediately." Online pressure is dangerous because you can rewrite the same message 10 times. You think you are improving it. Sometimes, you are only making your insecurity more visible. Do not let a notification become a command. Pause. In all three situations, the principle stays the same. Answer what is real. Protect what is private. Clarify what. This is not about becoming silent forever. It is about making silence available. Because if you cannot stay silent, your silence is not a choice. It is a weakness someone can take from you. The shift is not from kind to cold. It is from reactive to deliberate. You can still be honest. You can still be respectful. You can still explain when explanation is useful. But you stop explaining from fear. You stop giving private information to people who only earned a simple answer. You stop treating every question like an emergency. You are not the person who rushes to prove himself. You are not the person who exposes his inner state to calm someone else's doubt. You are not the person who speaks because silence feels uncomfortable. You are the person who can pause. You are the person who can choose. You are the person who understands that words are not free. Every explanation costs attention. Every detail gives access. Every emotional reaction teaches people how to approach you next time. So before you explain, ask yourself, is this clarity, or is this fear? If it is clarity, speak. If it is fear, wait. The strongest answer is not always the longest one. Sometimes, the strongest answer is controlled. If this sharpened the way you see pressure, the next lesson goes deeper. Because some questions are not questions. They are tests for access. And the person who notices the test too late has already answered too much. Stop explaining yourself to every pressure. Let your silence do what your panic never could.